Okay, so we are live now. Yes. A very good morning, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I hope everyone is fine. And we are again here with another lecture with very esteemed guest speaker, Professor Akbar Husain, who would be shedding light on a very interesting concept, happiness. So before Sir starts, it is my honor to introduce him. He has like very good profile. I cannot like express in words, but I'll try to give a brief intro about Professor Akbar Hussain, sir. He is a retired professor from the Department of Psychology, Aligarh Muslim University. He was the chairman, Department of Psychology, and dean as well in Faculty of Social Sciences, Aligarh Muslim University. He has also joined as adjunct professor in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences in Integral University, Lucknow. He was awarded the D.Litt degree in 2015 for his work on exploration and application of spirituality in psychology. So his major work is on spirituality in psychology. So I think he would be the best person to deliver or enrich us lecture on happiness. He has over 41 years of teaching and research experience, and he has also authored, co-authored, and edited 46 books and contributed to 291 national and international research papers, books, chapters, and various articles. He has been visited several countries for attending conference and teaching assignments. Professor Hussain received the Sir Syed Innovation Award as the Outstanding Research of the Year in 2018. Moreover, he has also developed a number of theoretical models and psychological tests which focus on understanding and measuring the phenomena of spirituality. So, we are really honored to have such a dynamic and intellectual person like you, sir. So, sir, and I'm sure that you would be an inspiration to our student as well as our faculty. Also, we would be join those who would be joining our lecture. So, a very warm welcome, sir. We are really privileged and we are really, really honored to have you, sir. Now it's over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Farah, for giving my introduction to the faculty members and the students of Integral University. Okay, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on the topic that is happiness concept, definition, and the model what I have developed based on the or considering the concept of happiness as an acronym. Okay, Professor Zeba Akil, Dr. Farah, Dr. Jasimuddin Khan, and dear students. First, I would like to share my views. What is happiness? So, happiness can be defined as a subjective and positive emotional state characterized by feelings of contentment, joy, satisfaction, and well being. So it involves a sense of overall well being and fulfillment in various aspects of life, including relationship, accomplishments, and personal experiences. So, happiness is a state of profound well being and fulfillment that arises from aligning our actions with our core values, nurturing meaningful relationships, and cultivating a positive and resilient mindset. The happiness can vary from person to person and is influenced by individual perspectives, values, and life circumstances. So it is often associated with the positive emotions, a sense of purpose, and a general feeling of satisfaction with one's life. So, as regards to the positive emotions, there are a number of positive emotions which are linked or associated with happiness, like joy, pleasure, hope, optimism, resilience, and others. So, in simple terms, when we talk about happiness, we usually means how satisfied people are with their lives and how they feel emotionally, positive and negative, and whether they have a sense of meaning and purpose in life. Purpose. It is about how content we are with our life, the emotions we experience, and whether we feel a deeper sense of fulfillment. So there are numerous experts and researchers in the field of psychology and economics who have made significant contributions to the field of happiness. They have influential roles in defining and advancing our understanding of happiness. Carol Dweck, he was a research, he did research on mindset and which has an important implications in understanding of our well-being. So Dweck distinguishes between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Cultivating a growth mindset can contribute a sense of progress, resilience, and overall well being. Daniel Kahneman, of course, he's a recipient of Nobel Prize in economics, but in the days he did work in the field of psychology. So Daniel Kahneman has conducted extensive research on the psychology of well-being. He distinguishes between two forms of of happiness: the experiencing self, that is momentary feeling of pleasure or pain, and the remembering self, that is long-term evolutions of life satisfaction. So Kahneman work shed lights on complexities of happiness and the role of different cognitive processes in shaping our well-being. Ed Diener, another positive psychologist, also known as Dr. Happiness, Ed Diener, is a prominent researcher in the field of subjective well-being. He has conducted extensive research on life satisfaction, happiness measurement, and the factors that contribute to well-being. Gretchen Rubin is a happiness author and speaker who has gained recognition for her book, The Happiness Project. She explores various practical strategies and experiments aimed at cultivating happiness and finding more joy in everyday lives. So Rubin's work emphasizes the significance of small changes and intentional actions in fostering happiness. Martin Seligman. Martin Seligman has extensively studied human flourishing and well-being. He developed the PERMA model, PERMA, which outlines five essential elements for well-being: positive emotions, for well-being, that is positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. And another happiness, a psychology who did work on happiness, Matthew Matthew Ricard, often referred to as the happiest man in the world, is a Buddhist monk and writer. He has dedicated his life to studying and practicing happiness and well being from a spiritual perspective. Ricard's insight and teachings draw from mindfulness, compassion, wisdom, traditions, offering unique perspective in finding lasting happiness. And another person is Mi- Mihaly is known for his work on the concept of philo, which refers to a state of complete immersion and enjoyment in an activity. He has studied the relationship between philo, happiness, and optimal human experience. Richard Richard Laird is an economist and author who has contributed to the field of happiness economics. He advocates for policies that prioritize well-being and argues that the goal of public policy should be to increase happiness and reduce suffering in society. Rick Hansen is a psychologist and author known for his work on the neuroscience of happiness and well-being. He explored how the brain can be rewired to develop positive qualities such as resilience, gratitude, and compassion. Hansen's teaching focuses on practical techniques in reshaping neural pathways and cultivating a more positive and happier mindset. Robert Emmons, who did work in the field of on the topic of gratitude. So Robert Emmons is a leading researcher on the science of gratitude. His work explored the benefits of cultivating gratitude and how it contributes to happiness and well-being. The Emmons has written extensively on the transformative power of gratitude in increasing positive emotions, strengthening relationships, and improving overall life satisfaction. Sonja Lyubomirsky. Sonja Lyubomirsky is a leading researcher in the field of positive psychology and the author of The How of Happiness. Her work focuses on happiness interventions, exploring how individuals can increase their happiness levels through intentional activities and mindset shifts. Next person is Tal Ben Sheher. Tal Ben Sheher is a prominent happiness and positive psychology lecturer. He has popularized the concept of happiness in his classes at Harvard University and authored books like Happier, Learn the Secrets to Daily Joy and Lasting Fulfillment. Ben Sheher emphasizes the importance of embracing both positive and negative emotions as part of a well being, grounded in fulfillment life. Their work has shaped the field and continues to inspire individuals to pursue happiness and well being in their lives. So, happiness is one of the most desirable positive psychological state. It is one of the man's highest good Boethius address the concept of happiness when defining happiness. Happiness as a generic concept is a universal, is a complete universal good, which he signified by saying happiness is a state brought to completion by the aggregation of all goods. What is signified by this is simply that the happy man is in possession, total or perfect good. It means goodness is associated with the happiness. So, similarly, Aristotle also captures the core of happiness. He shows what is that establishes man in such a state because it is by some kind of activity. As a result, he demonstrates that happiness is the ultimate good. So, similarly, in the field of social psychology, also there was an hypothesis which is known as what is beautiful is good. So, happiness is man's proper and perfect good, but there is no doubt unhappiness is the universal phenomenon. So, since happiness is the ideal good, no evil can arise from it. This does not apply the effort things as is stated in the treatise, which are research as occasionally retrained to the heart of the owner. So, of course, in the year two, since 2015, basically I have supervised PhD thesis as well as made an attempt to understand the different factors or the dimensions associated with happiness. So in this context, basically, as you see, there are the nine letters in the word happiness. H letter, English letter H, A, P, P, I, N, E, S, and S. So in this regard, I, as far as the conceptualizations or the factors associated with the happiness, what I have suggested in one of my article published in an edited book, published edited book edited by one of my friend in the who was in DIPR Defense Institute of Psychological Research, and this book was published from Pearson. So in this, chapter book, I have suggested nine psychological factors. Health, H stands for health, A for attributional style, and P for positive thinking, P for positive emotions, I for interpersonal relationships, N for nature, E for extraversion, S for social support, and another letter S for self esteem. The second model, in which I discussed nine essential elements of practicing happiness, they are healthy heart, activity or action, positivity, pleasurable experiences, intellect, non attachment, environment, success, and subjective well being. The happiness is something that we can link with these positive aspects. So, this chapter is also in praise. One of the books is to be edited by Dr. Geetika Datta, Professor Grishwar Mishra, and Dr. Gupta, and this is in praise with the Springer. So similarly, I mean, two more models I also prepared in the last 2 months to understand about it, the concept of the. So of course, there are. That means happiness can be defined variously. So now I come to the what are the different types of happiness. So majority of us know that there are two types of happiness, that is hedonic happiness and eudaimonic happiness. But anyhow, I have suggested or I am going to explain in brief about the six different types of happiness. The hedonic happiness. This type of happiness relates to the pursuit of pleasure, enjoyment, and positive emotions. It focuses on positive, maximizing pleasurable experiences and minimizing pain or discomfort. Next, eudaimonic happiness. Eudaimonic happiness emphasizes living a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. It involves pursuing personal growth, self actualization, and engaging in activities aligned with one's values and virtues. Social happiness. Social happiness refers to the happiness derived from positive social interactions, relationships, and a sense of belonging. It emphasizes the importance of connections with others and the support and fulfillment they receive. Achievement happiness. Achievement happiness, this type of happiness stems from accomplishing goals, reaching milestones, and experiences a sense of success or achievement. It is often associated with external markers of accomplishment and recognition. As you see, sometimes the our um, happiness is associated with the honors or the rewards or the success what we received. So this is the achievement happiness. So similarly, say for example, suppose a student passed an examination with first division marks or securing A grade or something, it is a sort of an achievement happiness for him. Fifth is spiritual happiness. Spiritual happiness relates to a sense of transcendence, inner peace, that is tranquility, and connection to something greater than oneself. It involves seeking purpose, self transcendence, and finding meaning through spiritual or philosophical beliefs. And the last one type of happiness is authentic happiness. This type of happiness is characterized by being true to oneself, living in alignment with course values, and expressing one's authentic self. It focuses on self acceptance, self expression, and embracing one's uniqueness. So it is important to note that these types of happiness are not mutually exclusive, and individuals may experience a combination of them in their pursuit of overall well being and fulfillment. As I mean, explained, or the factors what I considered the elements associated with the happiness, which combines the, you may say, spiritual happiness, achievement happiness, social happiness, or eudaimonic or hedonic happiness. So now I come to the levels of happiness. In the PERMA model given by Martin Seligman, who is a prominent figure in positive psychology, identified five, but three factors he explained to a greater extent, that is pleasant life. This level of happiness focuses on experiencing positive emotions and maximizing pleasure in daily life. It involves seeking out activities, experiences, and relationships that bring joy, comfort, and enjoyment. The pleasant life is characterized by moments of happiness and contentment. Engaged life. Moving beyond mere pleasure, the engaged life involves finding a state of flow and engagement in activities that provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment. It entails immersing oneself in activities that align with personal strength and values, where time seems to fly and one deeply absorbed and fully present. Meaningful life. The meaningful life centers around a sense of purpose and belonging, and it involves using one's strength to contribute to something greater than oneself. It encompasses a sense of meaning, fulfillment, and connection to something larger, such as relationship, work, community, or higher cause. It may involve making a positive impact on others and striving for personal growth and self transcendence. The Seligman model suggests that true happiness goes beyond momentary pleasure and extends in engaging in activities that provide a sense of meaning and purpose in life. So now in my lecture, the third model, what I proposed in one of my book on exploring and attaining happiness, in that it is to be published by Routledge. I hope so. It is under consideration that happiness lies in man's honor. H stands for honor. A for accomplishment. P for power. Another P for pleasure. I for inner qualities. N for non-violence and peace. E for excellence. S for scientific attitude. And another S for supreme good. So these are the happiness related essential elements are already within this positive psychological state, that is happiness. So now I am going to explain in brief about this, because such type of model, frankly speaking, to whom I usually refer as an analytical model based on the different concept. So I developed 8 or 9 models based on the concept like an spirituality, 4 or 5 based on happiness, excellence, and alienation, and so many others. So at least six, I have developed 60 different models based on different concepts like values also. Recently, one of my article has been published in one of the Scopus Index book. So now I am going to explain how does, but I made an attempt to question related to the different concepts linked with the happiness. The first one is, does the happiness consist in honor? The philosopher gave the answer of this question. According to Aristotle, happiness consists primarily in principally in honor. Happiness is the reward of virtue, but honor most of all seems to be the reward of virtue, as the philosopher also says. As a result, happiness is primarily comprised of honor. So according to Aristotle, honor is not the reward of virtue in the sense that virtuous actions are done for the sake of honor. On the contrary, men glorify that such works instead of rewarding them if they have nothing better to offer. But the true reward of virtue is happiness, for which the virtuous work is done. So when you perform any virtuous action or work, so definitely and receive honor based on that, definitely you feel more happy. The happiness, the complete good, appears to belong to God and people of great excellence. But as the philosopher argues, honor is of this kind. And even the apostle says, to the only God be honor and glory. So man most of all crave happiness, but nothing appears to be more attractive to man than honor. Whether you feel happy because you get an honor. For man would sooner all things than you lose their honor. It is impossible for man to crave honor in particular because of the innate desire for happiness, for which honor is a byproduct. As a result, man desire to be honored by the wise, in whose opinion they think themselves to be excellent and joyful. So another dimension which seems to be or linked or associated with the happiness is accomplishment. Again, I set another question: does happiness consist in accomplishment? So a sense of accomplishment is related to happiness. Accomplishment consistently bring about inner satisfaction and joy. The extent of this happiness can differ among individuals, underscoring the importance of recognizing elements that bring a sense of accomplishment in life. Our happiest and most unforgettable moments often revolve around the exhilarating feeling of success and overwhelming sense of fulfillment. Accomplishment offer both satisfaction and inner tranquility, that is peace. A moment of so now I'm going to cite in one example a moment of historic significance unfolded as the Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, successfully launched Chandrayaan 3. This achievement brought immense joy and pride to the nation, offering its citizen a profound sense of happiness and hope. The third letter in the word, the concept of happiness is P. So now the question is, does happiness consist in power? Everything strives to be conformed to God as an ultimate goal and basic principle. However, men in positions of power appear to be resemble God the most because of their might. As a result, they are referred to as gods in the Bible. Quote, thou shalt not speak ill of the gods. Exodus 22:28. Happiness is the ultimate good. The most perfect thing for man, however, is the ability to govern over others, which belongs to those who are established in authority. As a result, power is the source of happiness. It is impossible for happiness to consist of power for two reasons. First, as shown in metaphysics, power has the nature of principle, but happiness has the nature of ultimate purpose. Second, power is associated with both good and evil. As a result, rather than power itself, there may be some enjoyment in the good use of the power, which would be through virtue. Now I'm going to quote God's power. That the God's power is His goodness. He cannot use His power improperly, but this is not the case with human beings. As a result, becoming like God his strength would not enough for man's happiness unless man also become like God in goodness. Just as it is really excellent thing for someone to wield power properly in dominating others, it is also extremely awful to use it poorly. As a result, power is associated with both good and evil. The fourth letter in the word happiness is P. So now the question rises, does happiness consist in pleasure? Happiness, because it is the goal, is wanted for other reasons rather than for itself. But this is more about delight than anything else. For it is absurd to ask someone why he wishes to be pleased. Aristotle quote. As a result, happiness is primarily comprised of pleasure and delight. Another quote, the primary cause makes a more forceful impression than the second. St. Thomas. Now, the influence of the end is thought of an attracting desire for it. Therefore, that which more than anything else moves desire seems to have the concept of an ultimate end, but this is pleasure, and one sign of it is pleasure that captures man's mind and will completely that he despises other commodities. As a result, it appears that man's ultimate goal, happiness, consists in pleasure. Since desire is of the good, it appears that everyone wants what is best. But all things, or but all beings, intelligent and foolish, and even irrational, want the pleasure of pleasure. As a result, such delight is superior to all other things. As a result, happiness, the utmost delight, consists in pleasure. Quote, because bodily delights are more known, the name pleasure has been appropriated to them. Aristotle. Although other delights excel them, however, they do not constitute happiness, as there is a distinction between what corresponds to the essence of a thing and its proper accident. Being a moral rational animal in man is different from being visible. Then joy is a proper accident that follows happiness or some part of happiness. Because a man is thrilled when he has some excellent suitable to him, either in fact or in or the very least in recollection. Now, a suitable good, if it is the perfect good, is precisely man's happiness, and it is imperfect. It is a certain participation in happiness, whether near or remote, or at least appears to do so. Even so, corporeal pleasure cannot follow following the perfect good, because such pleasure follows a good perceived by sense, which is force of the soul acting via body. Now, a good belonging to the body as perceived by sense cannot constitute man's total benefit. For the rational soul outnumbers the proportion of corporeal matter, and thus that of the soul that is independent of a corporeal organ has a certain infinity with respect to the body and parts of the soul conceived in the body, just as immaterial things are in some ways infinite in comparison to material things, because the matters forms extracted and limited. As a result, a form independent of matter in some ways infinite. All gold in comparison to wisdom is as a little sand coat. As a result, bodily pleasure is neither happiness nor a legitimate byproduct of happiness. We desire good for the same reason we desire delight, which is just the resting of the appetite in food, just as a heavy body is borne downhill and rest due to the same natural force. As a result, just in good for sight itself, delight is sought for itself, nothing else. If the word "for" implies a final cause, however, while "for" denotes a formal reason, or more specifically, a moving cause, delight is wanted something else for the good, which is the goal of joy, and hence principle gives a form, and resting is the desired goal. The need for sense delight stems from the fact that the activities of the senses are more receptive, since they are principles of our knowledge. That's why most people seek out sensory thrills. The fifth letter in the concept of happiness is I. Now the question arises, do inner qualities cultivate happiness? Yes. Cultivating inner qualities can contribute, can significantly contribute to happiness and well-being. These qualities play a crucial role in shaping our perceptions and responses to life experiences. More explicitly, say, for example, benevolence and altruism. Act of kindness and genuine concern for the well-being of others create a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose. Helping others and contributing to the welfare of the community can foster a more positive and connected outlook on life. Gratitude is another inner quality. Focusing on what one is thankful for rather than dwelling on what is lacking or negative can shift perspectives towards a more positive and content mindset. So, gratitude has been associated with increased life satisfaction and overall happiness. The third inner qualities may be mindfulness. Being present in the moment and cultivating mindfulness can effectively reduce stress and anxiety. Practices like meditation help individuals become more aware of their thoughts, emotions, and promoting a greater sense of inner peace. Resilience. Developing resilience enables individuals to bounce back from challenges and setbacks often associated with a more positive outlook on life. It provides a greater ability to navigate difficulties without feeling overwhelmed. Self compassion is another inner quality. Treating oneself with kindness and understanding, especially in the face of failures or mistakes, contribute to a healthier mental and emotional state. Self compassion fosters a positive relationship with oneself. Authent- Authenticity is another is also one of the inner qualities which leads to a profound sense of fulfillment and happiness. This authenticity often results in a deeper, more meaningful form of happiness. In short, external circumstances certainly play a role in the happiness. Cultivating these inner qualities can provide a more sustainable and resilient foundations for well-being. It is important to note that the impact of these qualities may vary from person to person, and the individual experiences of happiness can be influenced by a combination of internal and external factors. Now, in the concept happiness, there is a term non-violence, N, later N. So does non-violence and peace helps in attaining happiness? The non-violence and peace are emphasized as key values in Hinduism, both as a means and in itself. Similarly, in Islam also, or the Quran, a number of the Quranic verses also explain the concept of non-violence. So as the Sanskrit phrase goes, ahimsa paramo dharma, or non-violence is the most important ethical precept of dharma. Inspired by Hindu principles, Mahatma Gandhi emphasized non-violence in thought, speech, and behavior. So Gandhi also believed that pressure means bringing one's thoughts, speech, and actions into harmony. So peace is a state of calmness, tranquility, and harmony. It involves a sense of inner calm and equilibrium, which contribute to overall happiness and well-being. The Dalai Lama has emphasized the importance of both inner and outer peace in achieving pleasure in society and throughout the world. As a Buddhist, he prioritizes inner peace, and because UNESCO states that wars begin in men's minds, peace must begin there as well. However, one cannot be completely at peace when society is at odds. A balance must be struck between the Western emphasis on socioeconomic conditions and the Hindu Buddhist emphasis on inner serenity. Next, later in the concept of happiness is E. Does happiness consist in excellence? Happiness consists in man's excellence. What he has, it is a sign and sort of treatment to be recognized person's greatness. A man's greatness is judged in terms of happiness, when is his total good and in relation to the constituents, that is good thoughts, good goods through which he shares his happiness. Honor is owed to God and to people is of great perfection as a testament to the greatness they already possess. The later S in the concept of happiness is I have explained in terms of scientific knowledge. Does happiness consist in scientific knowledge? Aristotle says happiness is activity in accordance with the complete virtue when he distinguishes the term When he distinguishes the virtues, he lists only science, wisdom, and understanding as the three speculative virtues that belongs to theoretical knowledge. As a result, understanding of theoretical science is essential to man's pleasure, that which one desires. Man's ultimate happiness is to be on sake, but such is the knowledge of science, for all men by nature desire to know, as it is said in the Metaphysics. And a little farther on, it is stated that theoretical science is sought for its own sake. The happiness, therefore, consists in scientific knowledge. So, happiness is the pinnacle of human perfection. Now, a thing has been developed to the point where it may be moved from potential to action. And theoretical science knowledge has actualized the human mind. As a result, scientific knowledge appears to be the ultimate source of enjoyment for man. It is said in Scripture, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom. Quote, this is mentioned in relation to theoretical science's wisdom. As a result, such knowledge does not constitute man's ultimate happiness. Consequently, perfect happiness cannot consist essentially in scientific knowledge. To establish this, we must note that scientific knowledge does not extend beyond the power of its principles. As Aristotle explicitly indicates at the beginning of the Metaphysics, at the end of the posterior analytics, the initial principles of sciences are now obtained through the senses. As a result, scientific knowledge can only go as far as felt knowledge can go. But man's ultimate happiness or fulfillment cannot be found in the knowledge of visible things. For a thing is not completed by something lower until then. It is not obvious that the form of a stone or other visible things is inferior to that of man. Aristotle is speaking in the ethics of imperfect happiness, such kind held in this life, as we have said above. Not only is perfect happiness but wanted, but also resemblance or involvement in it. So it means what is visible, you may not experience the pleasure or the happiness what you see rather than what you experience. The last later in the concept of happiness is S again. So I made an attempt to explain in terms of supreme good. The highest good is happiness. However, only good is the ultimate because there cannot be multiple supreme goods. It appears that happiness is connected with God because God is the supreme good. Happiness is the ultimate goal towards which humans will naturally leans. But as a Augustine points out that the will should not be directed toward anything other than God, in whom we should take delight. The man's happiness is something he creates. According to Augustine, the things we are to enjoy are those that produce happiness. As a result, happiness is not uncreated. So God has alone can totally fulfill man's will due to his boundless goodness. In the second definition, man's ultimate end is something found within, namely the achievement of pleasure or the ultimate end. For example, like in Islam, there are a number of attributes 99 attributes, more than that. Also associated with the God. The man's happiness is viewed in terms of the cause or object. It is uncreated. Nevertheless, if happiness is defined specifically, it is generated. The God is happiness in his own essence because he is happy, not via attainment or involvement in something else, but through his own essence. Men, on the other hand, are joyful by participation because some people they experience happy when they perform certain religious practices. So, according to Boethius, they are also dubbed gods by participation. And the participation in happiness, which man is referred to be happy as something produced. The happiness is referred to as man's supreme good because it is the achievement or enjoyment of the supreme good. The happiness is referred to as an ultimate end in the same way that the attainment or pleasure of the end is referred to as an end. So now I am going to conclude that since happiness denotes some ultimate perfection, it must be expressed in many ways to reflect the various level of perfection attained by the various beings capable of happiness. So God is basically happy and we are unhappy. God is happy because his own nature is his benevolence, that is compassion, caring, kindness, by which he delights everything other than himself. In the current state of man's existence, his ultimate perfection is in the honor, accomplishment, power, pleasure, inner qualities, non-violence and peace, excellence, scientific knowledge and supreme good, where he united to God. For these essentials, man can have complete happiness. Hence, the philosopher, when he considers man's happiness in his life, it is imperfect, and much discussion concludes we call man happy, but as man, however, God has promised us total enjoyment when he shall be as the angels in heaven. Quote Matthews. The Seligman suggests that the pursuit of happiness involves a balance between pleasure, engagement, meaning, with individuals' experiences, combination of these levels based on their unique preferences and circumstances. Okay, thank you very much uh, for the patient listening and giving me an opportunity to share my on the third model based on the concept of happiness.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for your immense reservoir of knowledge that you provided us with on such an important topic called happiness. क्योंकि ये शब्द जो हैप्पीनेस है हमने बचपन से इसको सुना है इसको महसूस किया है लेकिन
Hmm.
आपने जो आज ये लेक्चर लिया यू showed us a very different perspective which I don't think most of the people would have even thought of, including me. Like the models that you provided us with, anarchy, the full form of happiness, that was the best part. I mean, I would definitely learn that full form of happiness, and kahin pe bhi hoga, I will definitely quote you that I learned it from Professor Husain. जो full form of happiness आपने दिया, H for health, A for attributional style, and P for positive thinking, and so on, and the various components that you told us. And moreover, आपके lecture में the best part that I feel was that you told us about the internal qualities, the inner virtues. So
Yeah.
we usually think कि happiness एक बस emotion है, लेकिन happiness is in reality a result of the blend of these virtues that sir told us today. जैसे कि हमारे gratitude हो गया, compassion हो गया, kindness हो गया, non violence. So when you develop these, when you enhance these qualities in yourself, you would definitely just experience that eternal bliss, eternal happiness in life. So that is the moral lesson that I could just think of from your lecture, sir. And that was from a very different perspective that you provided us with. Thank you so much, sir. And we are really grateful. And I would request our students or any faculty member, if you have any questions that you would like to ask, sir, so please post it. And we can just have a question answer round if anybody has. And after that, our head, Professor Zeba Akil ma'am, she would be giving the vote of thanks. We would just invite her. Students, if you have any queries, please post it. So your lecture was very comprehensive, and we have, definitely benefited a lot from it. We learned the various components and the full form of happiness that I could never even think of. So it was really wonderful. I would just invite Zeba ma'am. In the meantime, students, if you have any queries, you could please post it. The lecture was quite comprehensive. If you have any doubts, uh, well, apologies for a little delay. Just Zeba ma'am was just busy with some practical. Actually, sir, हमारे यहाँ अभी वो practicals चल रहे हैं, so ma'am was busy with that. So I just called her. So I would just add her. She must be coming.
Another meeting,
Yeah, yeah.
online
She's just
meeting with in Malaysia. I have to conduct
yeah.
one Baba
Then
Bosi,
she.
PhD Baba
Uh,
Bosi,
uh,
just after a few minutes, half an hour.
yeah, ma'am is here.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Good morning on the behalf of Integral University and the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. Myself, Zeba Akhil, a student of Sir Professor Akbar Saab. I am really thankful to you, sir. You have really enlightened us from by the topic. Because this was real happiness, the real meaning of happiness, which we came to know after your lecture. Everybody sitting here, even the external examiner and the people who are in my office, they heard and they said that sir is speaking very nicely. Very explanatory lecture was there. कि happiness का actual concept क्या होता है?
Yeah,
And when you linked it with the attributes of God, real and the ahimsa concept, when you linked it with self, then the real meaning of happiness got a proper stand up in our society. Happiness, from your point of view, from it is not in the materialistic things.
yeah,
It is created. It can't be attained by this. And then when you said that God is the source of happiness, in Islamic psychology, are always enlightened when we hear you. Sir, on the behalf of on Integra University, I am really thankful to you for taking out time from your busy schedule and enlightening us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Ziba.